What if there was a way to literally step into the future, evaluate what you did to create a result, and then come back into the present moment with a perfect plan, a clear map to achieve anything you want? That's what I'm going to talk to you about in this video. It's called the backwards law, and not understanding it is likely the one thing preventing you from creating the life you want. Now, the mistake almost all of us make is that we're taught if we want something, we need to work harder, we need to figure it out, and then produce the result. But what that actually does is it creates a gap between where we are and where we want to be. And depending on how we respond to that gap, we end up operating from one of the two modes, which is either the creation mode or the survival mode. And when you're in creation mode, you feel calm, you're curious but clear, you're making good decisions, you're noticing opportunities, you're creative, and things just seem to flow. This is basically you at your best. But when you're in survival mode, you're anxious, urgent, desperate. You're forcing things and you're reacting instead of thinking. You're making decisions, but from fear. And the harder you push from this place, the more resistance you create around you. Now the thing is, you're always in one or the other mode. You're never in both modes at the same time. And most people, when they're chasing something they really want, they're spending the majority of their time in survival mode. Not because they're weak, because they've been told that that is what winning looks like. And we've been programmed into this state because right now, everywhere you look, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, there is just this wave of very intense, very masculine energy coming at you, with guys saying that you've got to be a part of the grind and you've got to outwork everyone else around you, otherwise you're going to lose. And I thought about it, and I thought that if working yourself into the ground was actually the secret to an extraordinary life, don't you think it would have shown up somewhere? Like the Bible doesn't say it, the Stoics don't say it, every major wisdom tradition, every great philosophy that has lasted hundreds of years, none of them talk about hustle. None of them say that outwork the person next to you. Because if that was the secret, don't you think some of them would have figured it out and mentioned it by now? But they didn't, because it's not the secret. What hustle culture does is it puts an enormous amount of emphasis on external mechanics, like take the action, control your circumstances, out execute the person next to you, and it almost completely ignores the internal state. But internal state is what truly every great person, every serious thinker, every person who has actually built something that really lasted said that was the whole game. And what's actually happening when you're in that hustle and grind energy is when you're pursuing something that hard, when you're pushing that forcefully, there's a part of you that believes that you might not even actually get there. And that's what the desperation is. And desperation, it does not attract the result. Desperation reinforces scarcity. It pushes the thing further away. Struggle is not a prerequisite for achievement. And what is most important is inner alignment. And that inner alignment will produce more than any amount of brute force ever will. And that's really why I created this channel, because most people, I feel, don't need more information. They just need a way to turn what they already know into real change. Now let's also talk about what's the alternative. And I will be actually giving you a practical blueprint for this alignment. And this is what I was talking about in the initial part of the video. Imagine if you could just go into the future, the result is already there, you've already made the money, you've already built the business, and you've already found the relationship. From that place, you look back, you see exactly how it happened, the thoughts that you were having, the way you were feeling, what you were actually doing in the months or years before it all came together, and then you come back into the present moment with that blueprint. How useful would that be? Well, you can do that right now. By the way, if you're finding this interesting, I've created another video which explains how manifestation actually works through the lens of neuroscience. I'll add the link in the description down below. It's definitely worth seeing after this one. Now for that blueprint, I want you to grab a piece of paper and write at the top of it, what do you want? And then create 3 columns. Feelings on the left, thoughts in the middle, and actions on the right. So let's say, for example, you want to have a net worth of $10 million. Okay. Column 1, feelings. And at the top of column 1, if you already had a net worth of $10 million, how would you be feeling today? Not the day you hit it, just today, a regular day, how are you feeling? You'd probably be feeling relaxed, financially secure, calm, maybe generous, like there's enough, like you can, actually breathe. Write all of that down, which is true for you. Then below that, write how you're actually feeling today while you're still pursuing it. Maybe you're stressed or anxious, like you're always slightly behind. Maybe you're financially insecure, like just one bad month could shake everything. I want you to write down everything that's true for you. Then in the second column, thoughts. Top of this column, if you already had $10 million, what would you be thinking about today? You probably wouldn't be lying awake wondering in the middle of the night if it's going to work out, right? You'd maybe be thinking about what to build next, or you would be thinking about how to grow what you have. Maybe you'll be thinking of an investment to make, or maybe going away and taking a trip you've been wanting to take, and even like helping somebody that you wanted to help. Some of these kinds of things you will be thinking. Write down whatever is true for you. And then below that, what are you actually thinking today? Probably what most people think is like, I don't have enough and I'm not sure if this is going to work, or other people seem to have figured this out, or what's wrong with me, and even that like maybe I got into this too late. Write whatever is true for you over there. Then in the third column, actions. Top of the column, if you already had $10 million, what would you be doing differently? Now this is where people get stuck because they say, well, I would be investing in real estate, but I don't have that kind of capital right now. Sure, but would you be tipping more generously when you're going out? Or would you be more present with the people around you instead of being distracted by money stress? Would you be spending time learning about wealth management, reading about how successful people think? Or let's say having conversations with people a few levels ahead of you? What would you be actually doing? Write all of that down. And then below that, what are you actually doing today? And be honest. Most people, they're either probably obsessively refreshing their bank account or their revenue dashboard, just hoping that the number moves. They're probably lying in the middle of night thinking about worst case scenarios. Even they're scrolling on social media at night just because the anxiety of it all is too much to just sit with. Write all of that down. And now look at that page. The top of each column, those feelings, those thoughts, those actions, that is your blueprint. That is the map of the person who produces the result. And the way you produce the result is not by forcing it, it is by being that person now before the result has arrived. Practice those feelings, practice those thoughts, practice those actions. Because if you feel like someone with $10 million, think like someone with $10 million and act like someone with $10 million, to become that person. It's not a guarantee of a date, but it's a guarantee of a direction. We, however, wait for the result to give us the permission to feel good, think clearly, and act like someone who's figured it out, but it works the other way around. You have to become that person first. You have to practice those feelings, practice those thoughts, those actions, and that's what produces the results. Now that you finally understand why trying harder often pushes things away, the next logical step is understanding what actually creates your results. I've made a video on how manifestation actually works through the lens of neuroscience. I will attach the link in the description and on your screen, and I will see you there.